Welcome to Stone Hands. My name is Simon, and today we are going to create a perfect Finnish brand. But before we get into it, why I'm talking to you about the brand, because I have been managing several different brands throughout the years. I have been working in our family business as an assistant manager for the last 10 years. I've had my own business for 8 years. And I have been sitting in various boards in different companies and charities. And they all have this one common message to the world, that each company, charity or organization needs to be branded. It has to have a name, it has to have a goal and a meaning. Like a charity in which board I was sitting, it was called the Estonian Eco-Village Association. In Estonian, it's really cool name, EÖÜ, Eesti Ökokogukondade Ühendus. It's a name that's really hard to pronounce, but they were able to create a beautiful logo for it and a compelling message that this is the last decade that we are able to make a change in this world. So we must act upon it. We must create communities within cities, on rural areas, and help facilitate the change. And branding took all kinds of forms, from logos, from deals with sponsors, organizing festivals, and all the time carrying the message. For example, I'm also an ambassador of the Eco-Village Network, of the International Eco-Village Network. So I'm bringing on the message of a better and sustainable world where all people can enjoy their lives. And I'm really against from buying flowers from common stores. And that's a story. Let's start our brand from there. I was in the meeting in Germany, and it was the meeting of the elders of eco-villages. So there were quite many creators, like old people, like 60, 70, 80 years old. They had seen a lot and they knew a lot, much more than me. I was the youngest guy there, like, oh, what's going on? They all had formed communities, and they were sharing and setting the vision for the future, how they could compel their message to the young people. And there were people from Australia, from Oceania, from Africa, from Latin America, from Europe, etc. And we were in such place as Heilhaus. It's a community in Frankfurt, and it's a community for the dying and for the ones who are going to be born. So they have got a healthcare system. They are minding the old people, the pensioners, and also they have birthing center over there to give natural birth. And while we were having that conference there, something happened. Like there was this man from the Central Africa, and we were in kind of a ring-shaped room that had another second floor upon it, but it was a great hall. There were some 40-50 people talking and having this referendum, and this one African man decided, oh, I will go to the toilet. And then we were talking about, oh, we as Europeans should not help Africa because it's taking away their power. And then there's another African man talking about the flowers, that the flowers, the tulips, etc., that are being transported from Africa to Netherlands, that when he was a child, he swam naked in a river, he drank the water from the river, but now he sees how children are poisoned from drinking those waters in his local river by the flower plantation that is selling flowers to the Netherlands. And Netherlands is the greatest importer of flowers in Europe. and is transporting them all the other places. So he was telling the story, and suddenly this man who had asked for help for his local school falls down from the second floor because he had locked himself into the toilet. He wasn't able to get out, and there was a tiny window, so he fell down and he broke his leg. And he was in a foreign country without an health insurance, and he had been a great man. He had helped with his own money to help many schools and educate hundreds or even thousands of young people. And now he was in need of help, and the cost of his medication was around 40,000 euros. Got a huge sum, and it was raised from our network, etc. But it was just this moral that we were talking about Africa. Should we help Africa? And then this man falls down and gets injured. But what about Finland? Finland, Africa, what's going on? So there's this thing like a cartoon. A baby is born in Finland, like God created a first Finnish person. So it's like a man with a spare belly and pampers and running away and cursing like fuck this shit from the God, and God is looking at him and like, oh God, what I have now created. An angry Finn. So, but how we could create a brand for the Finland, for the Finnish people, and it's quite obvious one actually, because so many people have gone crazy in the United States of America. People are going into the cold plunges and to saunas. They're calming themselves down and then heating themselves up and saying it's so beneficial for you. It gives you lower blood pressure. It detoxifies your body. But does it? Yes, of course it does. And the cold plunge helps the circulation. I am fortunate. I was a baby and I was thrown into the ice hole as a little child. Okay, I was not thrown. My parents went and I was like, cool, I want to. Ooh, cold, cool. So we have this privilege that since we were babies, we are able to jump into the cold water, into the ice hole. And I have solved countless and numerous ice holes in my life. I have done them with a chainsaw, with a pickaxe, with an axe, and even with a drill. And ice fishing is another thing in Finland. So, but all the Americans and Europeans say, oh, cold plunge is so healthy for you, and sauna is so nice, it detoxifies and makes you younger. But do Finns think like that? Of course not. To sauna, you go to clean yourself. In the past, you went to sauna to keep hurt and to die and to clean yourself. So, but what Finnish people love in sauna? They love to have a beer or a long drink, a longer one. A drink that was made in 1952 for the sake of the Olympics of Helsinki. So, longer, the national brand. Alcoholic beverage for the Finns. And Finns are one of the most alcohol-loving people in the world. Sadly or happily. And I don't drink alcohol, but I'm just helping you think what would be the branding for the Finnish, the great brand. So, you need something. You need an ice hole, and you need a sauna. And then you need this angry Finn who is determined not to listen to anyone else. Alcohol is bad for you. Don't drink alcohol. And then he takes out the longero, the long drink, the gin, the Finnish gin, and he drinks it from his can. And he says, ah, and he's happy. That's the perfect branding for Finland. And the same process you can go through and create your own brand, that you start thinking about your product or your aim and framing it into the frames. Where it is located, is it located outside, indoors, to whom it is targeted for, and what are the results of it, what kind of emotion it has and triggers. So I hope you enjoyed. See you next time. Check out my other videos on business, etc. And subscribe, hit the bell button, and see you soon. Goodbye.